all riled up, him and that girl?
I don't know. But I'll tell you something, Doc. You better not mess around with Nade's.
Ken Curtis, the legendary actor known for his unforgettable role as Festus Hagen on Gunsmoke, was a man whose life behind the camera remained largely private. For decades, he entertained millions with his charm, wit, and signature Southern drawl, yet few knew the personal battles and untold stories that shaped him. As the years passed, Curtis guarded his experiences closely, rarely speaking publicly about the truths that haunted him. But in the months leading up to his death, Curtis finally broke his silence, revealing confessions and insights that were as shocking as they were heartbreaking. These revelations painted a portrait of a man who had lived in the shadows of fame, wrestling with regrets, personal losses, and struggles that even his closest friends had never fully known. The man audiences laughed with, cheered for, and adored was now opening a window into a world that was deeply human, profoundly vulnerable, and tragically real. This is not just a story of Hollywood fame or television success. It is the story of a man confronting the truths he had kept buried, a man reflecting on decades of life in an industry that could be as unforgiving as it was rewarding. Curtis's final confessions leave an indelible mark, revealing both the personal cost of a life in the spotlight and the quiet strength it takes to face one's own past before it's too late. We uncover the hidden struggles, the devastating truths, and the emotional final chapter of Ken Curtis's life. A story that is as heartbreaking as it is unforgettable. Ken Curtis, born Kenneth Eugene Curtis in 1916 in Los Animas, Colorado, emerged from humble beginnings to become one of television's most beloved figures. Raised in a small town, Curtis's early life was shaped by the quiet rhythms of rural America, where hard work, resilience, and determination were values ingrained from a young age. These formative years instilled in him a grounded perspective, one that would guide him throughout his career, both on and off the screen. Curtis's entrance into show business was gradual, yet marked by a clear sense of purpose. In his early adulthood, he explored his talents in music, becoming a singer with the renowned Tommy Dorsey Band. Curtis's musical career not only showcased his versatility, but also provided him a pathway into Hollywood, allowing him to build connections within the entertainment industry. His rich baritone voice and natural charisma set him apart, hinting at a performer who could captivate audiences in multiple formats. By the 1940s and 1950s, Curtis had begun securing small roles in film and television, steadily cultivating his craft. He navigated a competitive industry with patience and dedication, accepting minor roles that allowed him to refine his acting skills and establish a reputation as a reliable and versatile performer. During this period, Curtis demonstrated a quiet professionalism and work ethic that would become hallmarks of his career. His early performances, while modest, revealed a natural ability to inhabit characters with authenticity, a skill that would define his later work. The turning point in Curtis's trajectory came with his gradual shift from music to acting, particularly in westerns, a genre that perfectly suited his rugged charm and easygoing demeanor. His appearances in numerous western films throughout the 1950s and early 1960s positioned him as a familiar face in Hollywood, earning the respect of producers, directors, and audiences alike. It was during this period that Curtis began developing the understated yet memorable presence that would later become his signature. Curtis's rise was not instantaneous. He faced the challenges of a highly competitive industry, including periods of uncertainty, rejection, and the constant demand to adapt to changing trends. Yet his resilience and commitment allowed him to persist, steadily building a career that balanced musical talent, acting skill, and a warm, approachable persona. These qualities would soon culminate in a role that would define his legacy. By the early 1960s, Ken Curtis was prepared for the opportunity that would cement his place in television history, the role of Festus Hagen on Gunsmoke. This character would allow Curtis to combine his natural charm, wit, and Southern-inflected humor, bringing a unique energy to a series already beloved by millions. The foundation for that iconic performance, however, was laid in these early years, a period defined by perseverance, professional growth, and the relentless pursuit of excellence that would carry him through decades of success. Curtis's early journey underscores the dedication and resilience required to transform talent into legacy, setting the stage for the triumphs and challenges that would follow in both his career and his deeply private personal life. Despite his public persona as the affable, loyal Festus Hagen on Gunsmoke, Ken Curtis's private life was far more complex than most fans realized. Behind the warmth, humor, and charm that made him beloved, Curtis faced personal struggles that were largely hidden from the public eye. Struggles that would later form the backdrop for the revelations he made before his death. Curtis's career, though steady and successful, demanded sacrifices that few outside the entertainment industry fully understood. Long hours on set, grueling filming schedules, and the pressure to maintain the iconic persona of Festus required discipline and endurance. While Curtis seemed effortlessly jovial on screen, the rigors of television production took a toll, leaving him with periods of exhaustion and moments of private reflection on the demands of a life spent performing. The distinction between the man he was and the character he portrayed was something Curtis guarded carefully. Understanding that audiences adored Festus without necessarily knowing Ken Curtis himself. Outside of work, Curtis navigated personal relationships that were sometimes turbulent. Friendships and romances were influenced by the constant public attention that came with a career in Hollywood. Maintaining privacy proved difficult, and Curtis often struggled to protect the personal spheres of his life from scrutiny. His reputation for loyalty and integrity sometimes collided with the harsh realities of fame, forcing him to make choices that balanced personal happiness with professional responsibility. In addition to relational challenges, Curtis faced the internal pressures of legacy and relevance. As a performer whose identity had become so closely tied to one iconic role, Curtis occasionally confronted the tension between being recognized for his achievements and being pigeonholed by a single character. This internal struggle, the desire to evolve as an actor while remaining beloved for a defining performance, was a source of both pride and quiet frustration. Health concerns also began to emerge in Curtis's later years, though he often approached them with the same understated grace that marked his public demeanor. Unlike the dramatic storylines of television westerns, these were private battles, moments of vulnerability that underscored the human fragility behind the larger-than-life persona. The challenges of aging, compounded by years of travel, work, and lifestyle demands, created an additional layer of complexity in his life. In the months leading up to his death, Curtis finally chose to speak openly about these experiences, offering a candid glimpse into the pressures, regrets, and personal reflections that had accompanied him throughout his career. The revelations were as devastating as they were enlightening, providing insight into a man who had spent decades bringing joy to others while quietly navigating his own hardships. Ken Curtis's personal struggles reveal the profound reality behind a beloved figure, a man whose laughter and charm masked a life of challenges, sacrifices, and emotional battles. These private experiences, finally shared before his passing, illuminate the full complexity of his life, giving fans a deeper understanding of the man who had long been defined by the role of Festus Hagen, but whose humanity extended far beyond the television. Screen Ken Curtis's career was defined not only by his enduring role as Festus Hagen on Gunsmoke, but also by the breadth of work that showcased his versatility as an entertainer. While audiences remembered him for the lovable sidekick with a distinct drawl, Curtis's journey through film, television, and music revealed a performer committed to his craft. Often at a personal cost, Curtis's portrayal of Festus was a triumph of character work. He brought a unique blend of humor, loyalty, and authenticity that resonated with millions, making Festus one of television's most memorable sidekicks. Yet the role, as iconic as it was, came with its challenges. Curtis had to sustain the energy, timing, and consistency of a beloved character over many years, a task that demanded both mental and physical stamina. Filming long hours, memorizing scripts, and performing multiple takes were routine, yet each day required meticulous attention to detail to maintain the illusion of effortless charm. Beyond Gunsmoke, Curtis appeared in numerous Western films and television series, building a legacy as a dependable and versatile actor. He performed alongside some of the industry's most prominent figures, navigating the often unpredictable world of Hollywood with professionalism and poise. Each role added to his experience but also extended the pressures of performance, travel, and public expectations. Behind the scenes, Curtis frequently contended with exhaustion, the strain of maintaining personal relationships, and the persistent weight of being in the public eye. Music remained another significant element of Curtis's career. His time with the Tommy Dorsey Band and other musical endeavors demanded long hours of practice and travel, showcasing his dedication and versatility. Balancing dual careers in music and acting amplified the demands on Curtis, creating a life that was both rich in opportunity and heavy with responsibility. The combination of constant performance and the need to uphold a public persona often left little room for personal downtime or introspection. The cost of fame, Curtis realized, was not always visible. While fans cheered and audiences applauded, the pressures of expectation, public scrutiny, and personal sacrifice quietly accumulated. Curtis's later confessions revealed the emotional weight carried over decades, a testament to the toll of living a life defined by both artistic excellence and relentless dedication. He spoke candidly about the loneliness, regret, and inner battles that accompanied his success, truths that contrasted sharply with the jovial, light-hearted image presented on screen. Despite these burdens, Curtis's career remains a testament to his resilience and talent. The iconic moments, from unforgettable television episodes to memorable film appearances, were achieved through determination, skill, and an unwavering commitment to his craft. Yet, as his final revelations would show, the triumphs came at a personal cost, highlighting the profound complexities that lie behind the celebrated lives of performers who entertain the world while quietly confronting their own struggles. In the final years of his life, Ken Curtis faced a profound reckoning with both his legacy and the personal struggles he had long kept private. While his public persona remained affable and humorous, those closest to him knew of the weight he carried, the accumulated toll of decades in show business, the sacrifices made for fame, and the unspoken regrets that had quietly shadowed his life. Curtis's dedication to his craft never wavered, even as age and health challenges began to limit him. He continued to appear at fan conventions, public events, and interviews, sharing anecdotes from his time on Gunsmoke and his earlier musical career. Yet behind these appearances was a man confronting the reality of his own mortality. The same charm and humor that had entertained millions now masked a private urgency to reflect, reconcile, and ultimately speak truths he had long held close. It was during this period that Curtis made the decision to break his silence. For decades, he had avoided discussing personal regrets, difficult decisions, and the emotional cost of his career, keeping these struggles behind a carefully maintained public facade. In his final months, however, he chose to share candid insights, confessions that revealed a life marked not only by achievement, but also by profound human vulnerability. Friends, colleagues, and family members later recounted how these revelations were deeply moving, shedding light on aspects of Curtis's life that few had ever glimpsed. Health challenges compounded the difficulties of Curtis's final years. The demands of aging, combined with the long-term effects of a life spent performing, took a physical and emotional toll. Yet he faced these struggles with a quiet resilience, determined to maintain dignity and authenticity. His reflections during this time were tinged with both sorrow and clarity, a recognition of the sacrifices required by fame and the fleeting nature of life. The devastating silence Curtis finally broke before his death was both a gift and a warning. It illuminated the hidden burdens that often accompany public success, and it reminded the world that even those who seem eternally cheerful and strong carry unseen weight. His last words, shared with those he trusted, underscored a life lived fully but not without cost. A life of laughter and love, triumphs and regrets, joys and heartbreaks. Ken Curtis's final years reveal the delicate balance between fame and personal fulfillment. between public admiration and private struggle. By breaking his silence, he offered an unvarnished glimpse into the man behind Festus Hagen, leaving a legacy that is as moving and complex as it is enduring. Ken Curtis's life and career stand as a testament to talent, perseverance, and the quiet complexity behind public success. Known to millions as the lovable Festus Hagen, Curtis embodied warmth, humor, and loyalty on screen. Yet the man behind the character was far more intricate, a figure shaped by personal struggle, professional dedication, and the weight of secrets he carried for decades. Curtis's legacy extends beyond the roles he played. He demonstrated the profound impact an actor can have by imbuing a character with authenticity, humor, and humanity. Festus Hagen became a symbol of trust, honesty, and charm. Yet the final revelations Curtis shared before his death remind us that even beloved figures endure challenges unseen by the public. His story illustrates the delicate interplay between persona and person, between the world we see on screen and the inner life that remains private. The lessons from Curtis's life are as compelling as his performances. He showed that dedication to craft requires sacrifice, that fame can conceal as much as it reveals, and that courage sometimes lies in acknowledging personal struggles. His decision to finally break his silence demonstrates the importance of honesty, reflection, and confronting one's past before it is too late. It is a reminder that even in lives that seem enviable from the outside, resilience, vulnerability, and self-awareness are essential. Ultimately, Ken Curtis leaves a multifaceted legacy, a career defined by iconic performances, a life marked by personal challenges, and a final act of honesty that revealed the full depth of the man behind the television legend. His story is both inspiring and cautionary, showing the cost of fame and the strength required to navigate it. Curtis will forever be remembered not only for the characters he brought to life, but also for the courage he demonstrated in revealing the truths of his own remarkable journey.